Well, hello. hello out there to all of you villagers, all of my villagers. Listen, it has been a long ass day, people. Let me tell you, it has been a long day. And I'm tired, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make this thing happen. I think it's very fitting that our topic for tonight. Hey, Ramona, how you doing? I always get happy to see you, Ramona. I always get happy to see you. Because you are very engaged, and I appreciate that. So yeah, you know, I feel like it's very fitting that we are tonight talking about people who hide behind the guise of keeping it real, especially when our commander in chief right now is using that guise to attempt to fraud the U.S. election, which is insane to me. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? So my name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I'm a mental and emotional wellness creative, licensed professional counselor, and a certified life enhancement coach. And you're tuned in to Live Stream Tuesday, formerly inside of Trust Village Facebook community. But I decided to pull it on out. I feel like the Facebook community, Trust Village, is going to be going on a brief hiatus, just because, I just really need to get my life together. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm always trying to get my life together, which I am, which is that's the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? But I am actually seeing gains and seeing progress, even though it might not always seem like it on the outside. But there's gains, there's progress. All of that is taking place. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment hashtag replay so I can say, hey girl, hey, or whatever. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and click the little bell so that you can get notifications every time I go live. Hey, Malicia, how you doing, Ma? What's going on? And so, congratulations, Rodney. Wow, congratulations. That's a big deal. Go ahead. I ain't even mad at it. So tonight for Live Stream Tuesday, our topic is smoke and mirrors, the truth about keeping it real. And I felt like this was a topic that I wanted to talk about because of some things that I was dealing with in my own life, that I realized very quickly is something that a lot of people deal with in their lives. I've come across this several times, a few times, in my own growth journey and things like that. And I feel like it's one of those things that we never quite really know how to respond to, and it definitely can cause us to experience, just a heightened level of distrust in people, and it just be making us feel some kind of way, like the folks say. We are talking about people who use keeping it real, or the idea of keeping it real, this idea of authenticity, as a weapon. They use it as an excuse to lash out on people. Everybody knows somebody like this, or if you don't know nobody like this, sis, it might be you. You know what I'm saying? The first step is admitting that you have a problem. Okay. Y'all like my outfit tonight? Let me show y'all my outfit. I like my little outfit tonight. I got this from the Rainbow. Isn't that cute? Hmm. Got this from the Rainbow. I enjoy it. I think I paid $7.99 for this outfit. It was on clearance. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I talk a lot about authenticity, because I genuinely believe that the pathway to joy and acceptance and healthy relationships with self, healthy relationships with others. Like the path to that goes through authenticity and vulnerability. There is no question about that, hands down. Okay. And so I'm really big on allowing ourselves to be authentic, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, and allowing other people to see us in our most vulnerable state. But I think that there is a side of authenticity that's not very authentic at all. A lot of times, we give the appearance of authenticity, but in reality, it is hiding our insecurities, right? So we're really burying our insecurities I, okay, did I lose y'all? Y'all still here? I don't know what just happened there with Facebook or whatever. But I suppose we back. Let me tell y'all how I'm about to fire uh Xfinity though. Like that's really I'm about to fire Xfinity. Um so we bury our insecurities in the facade of authenticity. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. I feel like somebody need to type that into the chat box, and somebody need to give me a heart. Hit the love button or the wow button if that blew your mind. I need a little hallelujah hands or something like that because that was a word. We bury our insecurities in authenticity. Okay, and so it is the appearance of authenticity, but it's not real authenticity. Okay, it's not actually allowing yourself to be seen. It's not really communicating. I keep freezing. Okay, I don't know why that is happening. Because Xfinity is really on my last nerve. Well, we just gonna keep on rolling and hope that it works itself out. Cause I have closed all of my other windows, so no other windows are open right now. Nothing else is pulling on my Wi-Fi, so I don't know what else to do. Um, yes, we bury our insecurities in authenticity, and so what happens is that some of us are so deeply embedded in our fears, our anxieties, our depression, our anger against the world for, why this had to happen to me like this and why I had to be treated like this and why did I have to go through that? And let me tell you, you are not alone in that. I spent the better part of 2 weeks ago, okay, uh yeah, 2 weeks ago, lamenting the same things. Like why do I have to be in this place? Like why do I have to deal with and go through these kinds of struggles, right? But the difference is that instead of internalizing those things and taking them out on other people, right? Or burying those things and taking them out on other people, I pull it out into the open and I deal with it myself. I cry. I record private sessions that nobody will ever hear, because the microphone is my peace. The microphone makes me feel good. I enjoy being behind the microphone, and so I find it very therapeutic sometimes to just get on the mic and record. And those are not sessions that are for the public. Those are things that are just for me. That's me working through whatever is going on in my head. I scheduled an appointment with my therapist, Miss Diane. Y'all already know by now how I feel about Miss Diane, okay? I schedule an appointment with my therapist and I talk to her about it. I cry with her about it. I do whatever it is that I need to do to figure it out, to sort it out, and to be okay. And I allow it to exist. I allow it to be true. And I think that's where a lot of us really, miss the mark, is that we do not allow ourselves the time and space that we need to exist in that not great space, right? And it's okay for you to not be great, to not be feeling awesome. It's okay for you to experience anxiety, to experience depression, to experience anger and things like that, right? Yes, Malicia. Malicia says shopping without money, right? So like emotional shopping, right? Emotional spending. Girl, I am listen, let me tell you. Emotional spending and emotional eating, those are two big ones for me that I'm really just becoming like cognizant of, like that those things are major issues for me that I really need to address. And so instead of us calling those things out for with and within ourselves, we continue to attempt to bury them because of the fear that we have of addressing them. So if I call it out, then does that make it true? And if that makes it true, then what does that say about me? Or am I strong enough to deal with it? Am I strong enough to process it and move through it? Or what does it matter? Why even attempt to do it? Because there's nothing I can do that can fix it. There's nothing that I can do that can get me on the other side of it. So fuck it. I'ma just be in this place and I'm just gonna bury my feelings. I'm not gonna communicate about my feelings. Somebody hurt my feelings. I ain't saying shit. I'm just gonna hold on to that and treat them like shit for the rest of my life. And I'm just gonna say, oh, I'm just keeping it real. Right? So we hide behind the guise of keeping it real. When the fact of the matter is that for most of us, we're not keeping it real at all. Because instead of you making a slick remark about something, or instead of you being passive aggressive about something, what you really could do is say, you hurt my feelings and I need you to never do that shit again. Or what you really could say is, I am not in agreement with the way that you handled that situation. And here's what I need you to do moving forward. Or I guess I could understand where you coming from with that thing, right? Or with that thought process. But I still feel the way that I feel, and it's okay for you to feel differently. You get what I'm saying? So actually communicating about what it is that we're feeling, what it is that we want, what it is that we need from people, instead of infusing a sarcastic comment, or instead of distracting with a underhanded little jig or something, gig, or what they call it? What they call it? Dig. Gotta give y'all a jig. Yes. Okay. So, and listen, it takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of work. I had to apologize to my husband earlier today, girl, because he had me go and drop some stuff off, girl, trying to ship some stuff for one of his family members. And I'm like, okay. And then it started raining, and I thought it was going to be a quick trip. First of all, I didn't know the thing was 40 minutes away to go drop the thing off. So I go drop the thing off. I get to the place, and the first place I went to said, oh no, you got to go to the other place, which is another 25 minutes away. So I'm like, God, Lise, I done already drove the 40 minutes. Now I got to drive another 25 minutes. I get to the other place that's 25 minutes away, girl. And then I realized that I forgot the paperwork on the table at the house. So now I got to drive back home another 40 minutes, get the paperwork, and then drive back out another 40 minutes to go drop the thing off. I get to the place. It's nice raining. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm on the phone with my husband. I'm like, well, look, you done sent me out here in these goddamn streets. You know what I'm saying? You done sent me out here in these streets and you don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What's going on here? Right? Picking a fight instead of saying to him, I'm upset about this. I'm frustrated about this. I don't like the way that this is being handled. I don't like the fact that I don't know what's going on. I'm upset about the fact that I left these damn papers at home and I got to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of like actually communicating. So once it was all said and done, after I got everything sent off and taken care of, I called them back and I had to apologize to my husband. That's authenticity. Taking responsibility for your behaviors, taking responsibility for your actions or lack thereof. That's authenticity. That's keeping it real. So to everybody out there who hide behind keeping it real and utilize the concept of keeping it real as an opportunity to suppress your insecurities, lashing out on people, walking around with a chip on your shoulder, always got something negative to say about something, always got something slick to say about somebody, right? Check yourself. The next time you feel the urge to keep it real, stop and ask yourself, is this really being authentic? Right? Is this comment intended to be constructive, genuinely constructive? Or am I lashing out? And if so, what am I lashing out about? Why am I lashing out? Right? Maybe seeing him, her, them, or they be successful in life or in their business or in their marriage, in their career, maybe that reminds me of my lack of success in those areas. And that makes me feel insecure. That makes me feel embarrassed. That makes me feel shameful. That makes me feel guilty. What is it that I'm actually feeling? Why? Absolutely. And how do I communicate that to myself or to the person? How do I process it? What do I need to do to address that thing? Right? I offer a 90-minute Blockbuster session, and y'all not utilizing this Blockbuster session, but it's a very viable option because not all the time do we need somebody to talk to on a regular basis. Sometimes you just need to have a conversation about this thing and you need to address this thing. I'm stuck in this area in this thing. That's the whole reason why I created the Blockbuster session. Right? It's a 90-minute session where we address the thing that you came there to address. We talk about it, we work through it, and we come out of it with action steps. What are the next steps? Okay? Y'all not utilizing it, but it's there. It's there. How do I get past those feelings? How do I process those things? How do I deal with those things? They say um, a hit dog hollers, right? A hit dog hollers. And I know that I'm not necessarily using that in context, but I believe that there's an alternative context that it could be seen in that when you feel that thing, when you feel that urge to keep it real and really just be a bitch, to be an asshole, to really just point out somebody else's flaws because that's what the fuck you felt like doing in that moment, right? When you have that urge, it indicates that there's something that was hit. There's a nerve that was hit inside of you. And so the holler is the keeping it real. Y'all with me? Does that make sense for y'all? right? The holla is drawing all of this negative attention to yourself by saying crazy shit. And then you always know that you done went too damn far because the feeling in the air changes, right? The whole tension builds, right? You know when somebody not feeling some shit you done said. You know when you done took it too far. But you do it so often that you've convinced yourself that it's something wrong with them. They can't take a joke. Well, that shit wasn't funny. I used to when I work with the young kids, um, because I've worked with kids my entire career. When I work with the young kids, with the teenagers, preteens, and stuff like that, and we talk about bullying, you know, and the what I explain to them is they say, well, what if we just joking? Like sometimes you just joking, because a lot of times that's we hide behind just joking. I'm just playing. I'm just joking, right? But if you the only one laughing, that shit not funny. It's not funny if I can't laugh with you. Now, if I can laugh with you, then it might be funny. But if I'm not laughing with you, then you are laughing at my expense. You get what I'm saying? So if I cannot if you have some criticism of me and you intend for that criticism to be constructive, if we have that kind of relationship and you share that with me, then I'm going to know that it was constructive by the way that you present it. Okay? By the way that you present it. So we can't hide behind this idea of keeping it real because it's not real at all, and people can see straight through it. You ever wonder why people just stop telling you shit? Why people just stop fucking with you? People stop asking you to come places? We like to say, oh, they acting funny or oh, they jealous. That's the worst one. Oh, they jealous. Jealous of what, sis? You're miserable. You're miserable. What I'm jealous of? You're not happy with you. Why would I be jealous? You get what I'm saying? So we have to be intentional about healing the things inside of ourselves that make us feel like we need to lash out against others. And instead of masking those things as keeping it real, instead of masking those things and burying our insecurities in authenticity, we need to actually pull those things up, look at those things, identify what they are, educate ourselves about how we need to, how we need to address those or how to address them. That's where I come in, right? And then we need to implement change. Identify, educate, implement. That is the system. And it works every single time. Every single time. Identify, educate, implement. All right? All right. I feel like y'all somebody need to record that and send that to y'all president because sis he having a hard time right now. Now that was petty. And that really was keeping it real, but that didn't come from no place of authenticity. I mean, no place of insecurity. That was authentic right there. Send that to your president. He might actually like that's a real lesson. Like actually needs to learn that lesson, like in real life. In real life, it's crazy. I was looking on Facebook the other day, which I feel like I need to take a Facebook break outside of just doing my lives and stuff because girl, I have been strolling on this Facebook like just I just have spent a ridiculous amount of time on Facebook. And this girl that I know really showed her true colors behind this election. And it was so subtle, but it was blaring at the same time. And I'm sitting here like, people will present themselves to be one kind of way because, she loved everything about blackness except the lack of privilege. You know what I'm saying? That her whiteness gives her. And so even though you are, I want to find the right word. The word that comes to mind, my first instinct is to say that even though she is enamored by blackness and black culture, her whiteness still prevails. Um, and her fear of blackness still prevails to the point where um, she votes against the interests of her family. You know what I'm saying? And it's I don't get it. I really don't get it. That's a good example of people who present themselves to be one kind of way without actually understanding the truth of what it means to be in that space or to be that thing. You know, I try to be honest with y'all about where I am at every step in my journey. If I have never claimed to have it all together, I have never claimed to be perfect in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I got issues. You know what I'm saying? I got issues. And though I don't necessarily share each and every one of my issues with y'all, I am open with you all about the issues that I do have. I'm also open with you all about the process that I engage in to manage and deal with those issues. And the reason why I think it's important for you to see both sides, right? Not just the wins, but also those moments of feelings of defeat, because that's the reality of what this journey looks like. And I feel like too many are getting a false representation of what it looks like to be on a change journey. It is full of ups and downs. This is the reality of the thing. And sometimes you have to come back to the same thing 3 or 4 times before it clicks for you, right? Before you really like get that thing. But the win is not in getting it right the first time. The win is in not giving up after you fail the first time. It's so interesting, and I'm going to talk about this some more week after next on the 24th when I do the next live stream Tuesday. Our topic is battling perfection. And again, I feel like it's so prophetic because I created this schedule forever ago. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that I would be in that headspace when it was time. I was talking to a friend of mine recently about just kind of like where I am and like in terms of like dealing with some of my own things. I've told y'all I have addressed that top layer, you know what I'm saying? I addressed that first layer of shit. And I feel like I did pretty good with addressing that first layer of shit. And so now I'm at a place where the second wave of shit is starting to come up. So it's like all of the shit that had been pushed down because this surface shit was there. I've dealt with that surface shit. I did the work. I have made progress in those areas. And now this second, layer of stuff is starting to come up, which is this is how it goes, right? Like this is how change and growth happens. And so this second layer of shit is coming up for me, and as I'm dealing with this second layer of shit in my life, I'm realizing things about myself that I just did not realize before. And it's not necessarily new things because these are things that have Now that I have an awareness of it, I can see that these are things that have always been there, right? They've always been there, but because I was dealing with the surface shit, I was distracted with the surface shit. I didn't have time, space, nor energy to even look at the second layer of shit, to even consider those things. Let's talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? So, because I was just trying to deal with all of those other things, the level one shit, the level two shit just wasn't even necessarily on my radar. But now that those things are coming up for me, I'm realizing more and more that, okay, like this shit is real. Like this shit was always there. And I can see how this shit was contributing to that shit and how that shit led to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm starting to see all of these different connections, that honestly never saw before. I never really knew that those things were there. I felt the effects of those things, but I never really realized that those things were there, right? And that's why it's so important for us to take the journey, to be real about taking the journey and to be real about understanding what the journey looks like, right? It ain't easy. I think our healing circle for this week, for this month, which is on the 21st, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, is gonna be our healing circle, right? And that is a lot of shit, Malicia. It is. Our healing circle for this month, which is our monthly accountability calls, okay? The healing circle, our topic for this month is authenticity. That's our category. And our topic is healing ain't pretty. Healing ain't pretty, right? That is the topic of our accountability call for this month. And we're going to talk about the ugly side of healing, because that's the part that we are most afraid of, whether we acknowledge it or not, right? We're afraid of the pain that comes with the healing, that the pain that comes with the beginning part of the healing. And sometimes the end too, because we talk about the process of change, and we talk about that there's a cost, there's a loss associated with with every change, right? And that can be painful at times. But healing is not pretty. It's necessary and it's worth it, but it ain't always pretty. It ain't all ugly either, though. It's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces of it. And the thing about healing is that the more healing you engage in, the prettier it becomes. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that in this month's healing circle. I'll be posting about that soon, because one of the things that I realize is that like in my own journey, in my own process, is my connection to failure is really strong. And it's not that I'm necessarily afraid of failure, but I believe that my threshold for what I consider to be failure is way too low. Way too low. And that becomes very disheartening. That's something that I'm still working out, right? That's something that's my lesson that I'm still learning. So as I get more confident in that lesson and I start learning how to I get my bearings in terms of how to get on the other side of that, then I'll share that with y'all more so. All right. So, all right. Well, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Make sure that share, please share this video with your friends and family, or tag anybody that you think needs to hear this message today. I would greatly appreciate it. And sign up for Trust Village Academy wait list. We're making a few adjustments, and we're going to be relaunching Trust Village Academy very, very soon. So y'all make sure that you sign up for the wait list for that. All right. That's all I got for y'all today. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.